friggin' ridiculous. I can't believe it. I missed a week of news time. I didn't get to do it, Ron. I was busy. I had busy things going on. Oh, don't get attitude with me, Ron. Don't get attitude with me. All right. I already planned out the episode. We knew it was gonna be about Gamescom, and then nothing happened at Gamescom. All right. It's like European E3, except there's no news. Okay. I get that I have to do this episode in news time because I don't miss episodes. I may have missed a week, but I don't miss episodes. I don't know why I'm slipping into my Andrew Cuomo accent here. Listen, Ron, I got a cough, so can we end this cold open so I can just throw through the episode? All right, thank you for listening, Ron. I'm going to do the episode this week. Jesus Christ.
It's news time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White. Welcome back to News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the Gamescom news you didn't know about. Guten Tag to all. Gamescom, which is basically European E3, was last week, and it's also 10 years old. Also note that this episode was planned last year, so it's technically 11 years old, but also it's launched in 2009, so it's technically 12, and I've just wasted a bunch of time right here. Gamescom is a huge show with tons of revelatory information. It's even bigger than E3 with over 370,000 attendees. While Gamescom is bigger than other shows, it doesn't mean it gets the best information. E3 still has all the eyes on it, and E3 gets all the good stuff, whereas Gamescom really gets the runoff. The PlayStation 3 isn't going to be announced here. No way! It's going to be announced at E3, but Gamescom still gets the slim. Now, with that being said, this year's Gamescom wasn't as revelatory as it should have been, as it could have been, and as Gamescoms of past have been. Mostly probably because of the pandemic. So we're going to break tradition, and we're going to just go ahead and read what was the best of Gamescom this year. I think it's going to be great. You think it's going to be great. And yeah, I did just tell you how to think, dummy. Okay, so first up, what was announced was a new reboot of Saints Row. Not Saints Row 1, not a remake, not Saints Row the 3rd, the 4th. There's a horn outside. This brand new Saints Row from the same developer, Volition, coming February 22nd, 2022. We got a very Saints Row-like trailer with a bunch of unnamed characters, this time more hipsterish than gangster, appearing to destroy the city that they run through, whatever that city is called. And it seemed fine. People seem to hate it for some reason, but it's just another Saints Row game. It's a knockoff GTA. Is it more fun? Not really, but at this point in time, GTA could use something to push it along into the more fun territory. And then, of course, after that, there was Far Cry 6, which is coming out this year. And we got to see more open world stuff, another trailer. It's focusing on the bad guy whose last name is Castillo, first name is Anton, who's played by Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, and among other things. I'm sure he hates being known for just Breaking Bad. We get to see a lot of the story, the main story is going on, but more importantly, we get to see that this bad guy, see what he's up to. It's going to be typical, regular Ubisoft Far Cry affair. I see a horse in one of these photos and a nifty-looking weapon of some sort. So you're going to be able to shoot things and ride horses as per usual. And then moving on, we have Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is developed by Firaxis Games, which is a company that works with 2K, and they produce XCOM games and make the XCOM games. XCOM, wonderful turn-based strategy video game series, and now we're just going to put some Marvel on top of that. And by putting Marvel on top of it, I mean you get to play as, but I mean you get to enjoy Blade, Captain America. Looks like they got Wolverine, Iron Man, some woman up front with swords, and a whole slew of characters who I can only assume will have a bunch of some permadeath, as what the games are really known for, is the permadeath in your playstyle. So we'll get to see some more of that in March 2022 when that releases. Then we got to see some Halo Infinite, which is coming out in December of this year. And they didn't show off any of the campaign. They showed off a multiplayer trailer. Again, people were up in arms about that for some reason. I don't really know. I don't really read into it. But the multiplayer looks like it's going to be, it's free, obviously, but it's going to be a bigger version of what the multiplayer was on 5 and in the Master Chief Collection, both of which I can only assume will still be playable when Halo Infinite comes out. Then, of course, we saw some more Dying Light 2, which is coming out later this year as well. Same day as Halo Infinite. Wow. That's just going to be more of the same. It's going to be a zombie-infested thing. We're going to see a bunch of hostile survivors is what's going to be here. More of the same. And then, moving on, we've got Horizon Forbidden West, which is going to come out in February of 2022. Going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Probably won't be on the 4 at all. Definitely won't be on the 4. I can guarantee that. And the date was announced at Gamescom. So we got a bunch of new screenshots, and Aloy, the main character, looks great. She's swimming underwater, so that's going to be fun. Then this is not typical, obviously, because Sony doesn't really show up to Gamescom. It's more of an Xbox Microsoft event. And that being said, Microsoft showed up with Horizon. That's what they should call it. Forza Horizon 5. That's coming out in November of this year. They had the first 8 minutes of the game, and if you've ever played a Forza Horizon game, you know that the opening minutes they show you generally everything that's going to happen in the game. It's fun. You can see weather effects. You get this, drive around the map. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good. Same thing was in Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 3. Both games I own, so won't probably own Forza Horizon 5. Then we saw some more of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is coming out at some point in 2022. It's going to be the side-scrolling arcade beat-em-up style game with all you play as the Turtles. It's going to have that pixel art that people love and the 80s cartoon characters, and as well as April O'Neil, who will be playable this time around. And then Elden Ring, which is coming out in the early part of 2022 in January, which is an evolution of the Dark Souls series is what it looks to be, but it's just going to be a little bit bigger, and people are looking forward to that. Not a fan of Dark Souls, but whatever. We saw Call of Duty Vanguard, which is coming out this year. It's more Call of Duty. What else can be said about that? And I mean, so that's what Gamescom is compared to E3. You get E3 comes in the middle of the summer, comes in the middle of the year. You're basically getting a warning sign of what's supposed to be coming. That's when all like the biggest games of the world of the year, of the next couple of years, are announced. And then it's in Gamescom. You'll get to see more gameplay, hopefully, or more information comes out. And it's not with every single company. As I said, Sony doesn't really show up. Nintendo, I don't even think barely showed up. And then, Microsoft uses this as their other platform because they don't have Nintendo Directs like Nintendo has. They don't have Sony State of Plays a lot like Sony has. So this is it. This is exactly what they need and Microsoft needs in order to get them leg up. And you know what? There doesn't need to be a comparable E3 for every situation. There's only one San Diego Comic-Con, so it only makes sense that Gamescom is living in its own life. Not everything has to be the Oscars. Everything has to be the World Series. One more. Not everything has to be the Super Bowl, the most watched program of the year. So that's it. If you like what you heard here, if you like what you saw here too, why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there are so many interviews and better episodes of this show that you can go, oh, okay, he does really do good work. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionalist podcast wherever you get your podcast. And I got to get to writing the actual week's episode of News Time. Goodbye.